Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited inside story of the Westies. It's a ever since I've gotten received the podcast recorder, I was wanting to interview Steve Westbrook's wife and son, and Dick Westbrook's daughter-in-law and grandson. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, mother and son, Shelly Westbrook and Shane Westbrook, ladies and gentlemen. They're my neighbors, so that's the thing. When your father played for St. Stephen's when he was a young man, we played them down at the old Bush Stadium before a Stars game, and my brother was buried out of St. Stephen's, and I talked to a bunch of teammates in the. I said, Father, I said, St. Stephen's. The last time we were at St. Stephen's together, we all had sore shins. All right, thanks a lot. You're usually a laugh track, but it's a little delay. So I, just amazed your aura, Shelly, is like when somebody first meets you, I would think it just doesn't go away. I mean, you have such an unbelievable aura, just about you. Can you tell us all a little something about you to throw the sparkles and everything up and around?
So I grew up actually DC Army brat and started playing soccer in actually got to travel in middle school to Canada to play. We were pretty progressive, and then went to high school and played, and then played high school on the boys team because they had no girls team. That dates me. And
Wow.
then I met Steve when I went to Indiana and played, and as soon as we went on our first date, that was it. So almost 45 years ago, we got married. So
Beautiful, man. And literally, we could say soccer brought you two together.
it did. Yeah.
Unbelievable. People talk about their work, that a lot of their work and a lot of what they do in life is because of soccer, and they use soccer as, kind of a tool type of thing. So, did you, when you were raising your wonderful children, did you use a soccer formation, or think about soccer at all?
Yeah, I never really coached a whole lot, but I did use it definitely at work. Throughout my career, I think, a lot of companies will hire athletes and soccer players because, you have to learn how to play as a team. And so I really used it a lot at work. But from soccer perspective, I just supported Steve and when he coached Shane and Kyle and Nicole, I was there to help with admin and stuff like that, but I never did the coaching with them.
Well, well, on full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, if I had to pick a name, it would be this guy's name. Shane Whalen, I would have been called, but this is Shane Westbrook. Shane,
Yeah, glad to be here.
all right then, you big lug. Yeah. Uh, Open up and give us a little read on you.
Okay, well, I'm a Westbrook, so soccer was, everything. Just my earliest memories, just playing soccer, being around the game. Extremely lucky to, be a part of this soccer family. I have a lot of pride in being a Westbrook and being from St. Louis, and Now, being my age, you really realize how special it was to grow up in St. Louis playing soccer. It's, the original hotbed. I just really, developed a strong love and bond for the game because I was just always around it. Like I said, my earliest memories were going to CBC games when I was younger with my dad and grandpa. Those like mid 90s, late 90s CBC teams those guys were like my heroes. And I just loved, I was always around the game, and I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a soccer player, and was very lucky to have great coaches. My grandpa, my dad, played on some great teams, played at Bush Soccer Club. We won a national championship when I was 18 with that team. Those are my best friends. And yeah, I mean, I went on to play at Chaminade, went to Boston University, played there, transferred to UC Irvine. So I went to the West Coast and played there and graduated there. And then tried out at a few USL teams in Harrisburg and in Portland, had a few trials in the MLS, and then went over to Germany, had a few trials. And yeah, man, came back, started coaching, and I just moved back to St. Louis last year. I got married, had a few kids, so I wanted to come back and, be close to family after living in Los Angeles for the last better part of 20 years. So.
Well, there you go. You weren't family. You got in Wales Certified Hall of Affinity on your own. Shelly, Shane, holy cow, man. You are authentic, baby. You're authentic. Wow. Played against the guys. Oh, yeah. I would had to have seen that, because we only have the one woman here, Leslie. She played for the Steamers. Are you aware of her at all?
No, I'm not sure the last name.
Lindsay is her name.
Yes, I've heard of her, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, because I tell you, one of the finest times I ever had was playing co-ed. And yeah, I mean I think it could go myself. I would get season tickets. And then the Shane over, he starts off that he's a left footer. Oh, baby, I tell you, only a soccer guy would start like something like that, man. You know that old story you had me at hello? Holy God, hey, I'm a left footer. Well, come on in. Why didn't you say so? Oh, man, that's something. I had no idea. National champion. Who was some of the your lads with you on the squad?
So we had John D'Armando, Brandon Gasparovich, Dave Roth, Pat Despennett was our keeper. Zach Prisbeck, center mid. Yeah. Pat Fagan. We had a solid group that our core stayed together. Since we were like 8 or 9, we kept adding players year by year, and we had some just battles with Scott Gallagher. That was our rival, man, when we were growing up, and Gallagher would I think they beat us like 5 years in a row in State Cup until we were, I don't know what grade we were in, but we really, once we won that first state championship, we won maybe 5 in a row. Wow. And then, we just kept getting better. We made it to regionals, and then, the last year we were together as a group, we were 18. We won nationals, so
wow.
Probably the best moment of my playing career winning with that team.
So, Shelly, did you bring all your stuff that you wanted to when you went to the games?
don't know what that means. I didn't have a cowbell. Just let's put it that way. I just watched and enjoyed. I loved it. And Shane's younger brother, Kyle, also played in Nicole. And they all played, at a high level. But when they got to college, they decided they both could have played in college, but decided they wanted to go the fraternity sorority Mizzou route. So they ended
That's
up,
a hard, that's a hard
yeah,
sell, baby. Yeah.
but they, they love it still. And I think we're looking forward to Shane. He's got a little girl that's almost 2, and he's already getting ready for Kickaroos. And I'm sure they'll be coaching. And Kyle's looking at coaching his girls, and so the is it'll just go on the soccer tradition, which
Yeah.
is exciting.
Yeah. Oh man. I tell you, it was just something. I sat there at the Hall of St. Louis Hall of Fame dinner at the table with you all, and when Dick Westbrook was honored with a lifetime achievement award with the Monsignor Johnson, and I mean, I just wow, just the amount of history, and just the stories off. If I could be a fly on the wall, holy cow, the stories, and then you having you correct me if I'm wrong, but you are a student of the game, Shelly. You seem like you really have a passion for the game.
Well, I would have to say Irene, Dick's lovely bride, who's no longer with us.
Yeah,
She watched and never played, but I would say even she was a student of the game, just watching that level for so long. And so I feel the same way too. I sure, I'll throw out some ideas, but for the most part, Dick and Steve, they do their thing, and I really enjoy it. But
yeah.
yeah.
But it's just to be able to follow along. When they talk the
Oh, for sure.
masterpiece. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Hmm.
And that's really, I was telling you, I'm gonna have to put some ice or my cheeks or my face. I'm smiling so much. When you said, "Liv, I don't bring a cowbell," let's put it that way. Oh, oh, that is funny, man. Okay, so there you go, man. You're in the Midwest. You go to the East Coast, and then you go out to the West Coast. So you got a pretty much of a meatball situation going on. And, do you have any insights on it, Shane?
Just insights as far as my experience with traveling to both coasts and everything.
Well, that and I guess the players were from all around America. They weren't just like raised on the East Coast or the West Coast, but that the player way of playing.
Yeah, it was just going from club soccer to college. The college game was different, in my experience, especially on the East Coast. Up in Boston, it was just a different style of play. I think college in general, it's just way more direct than I was used to. We, my club team was just, prided ourselves on possession and, moving the ball on the floor. The college was just different. So it was an element of just, adapting to that. And in Boston, it was more the case. The ball was in the air a lot, way more physical. We had guys from all over the world on our team. It's a great experience. I love Boston. Boston's, one of my favorite cities I've ever been to and lived in. So it was a pure soccer decision when I left and transferred. It was, yeah, I in hindsight, like I just wanted to play pro, from the earliest, days when I started just playing. I just knew I wanted to play pro, and I thought, I had a better opportunity of doing that in at a different school. So that's why I transferred to UC Irvine. And I'd say the California style, the West Coast style was a little bit more what I was used to in St. Louis. It was just a little more, the tempo was more my style. And it was, it was more possession based. I'd say. Yeah, still, I'm super grateful to have played in both schools though, and got that experience.
You know, so you, on a full disclosure, I never met a Westie that didn't have a little bit of an opinion if you had asked them.
Opinion on
Okay,
We
so
didn't catch that last part.
well, opinion on what, Wales?
it, I've never met a Westbrook who didn't have a somewhat of an opinion if you asked them.
Oh,
You should get
some
Craig on the show.
Oh no. Well, it would be wonderful because it's. I mean, talking to a Westbrook is a life experience. It's beautiful, and I love it, and that's why I lead into that is to ask you, Shane. There's a lot of talk around about transfer portals, this, that. Can you be in there and having some years in reflection and just what you stated now that it felt right? If I'm hearing you right, listening to you right, what do you have? What's your opinion on it?
Well, back when I was in school, I think it was a bit different. I think I had to get a special release to be eligible to transfer without sitting out a year. I don't know what the the rules are today. I know it's probably different, but yeah, as a young kid, back when I was playing in Boston, I didn't. I was playing a new position. Well, I mean, I played a little left. I was a center mid, then went to left back, and um, I wanted to play center mid again. I don't know if I would have known what I know now. I don't know if I would have made a decision like that. I don't regret it at all. I loved
Yeah.
my time in UC Irvine, but being the young man that I was, I transferred to play just like purely soccer, just to play in like my natural position, and that's what I could do at UC Irvine. And so the transfer, we didn't really have a portal back then. It was just it was different. Yeah, I mean, I assume now transfers are just like way more common, and yeah, and I guess some money's involved now. But that, yeah, it was just different back when I was playing.
Yeah. You know, it's called the inexperience of youth. That
Yeah,
at the moment, you say, well, now you, but and what Biggie says, you don't know what you don't know. Now you know.
yes, sir.
Oh boy. Okay. So here it is. Far as I gotta ask you, man. I stayed in the showbiz business for a year more than I would have because I was thinking that I was going to be able to work your daughter singing on, with a band or solo or something. Your daughter, the singer,
Yes.
it's just outstanding. I get goosebumps just thinking about those songs, man. Did
Yeah.
Yeah, did you have a thrill on that act? Were you,
Uh, yeah, I mean, it was exciting. I wasn't a stage mom. I was always a jock, so I didn't like, want to live through my daughter vicariously as a singer or anything, because I couldn't sing a note. But yeah, but it was, it was neat going out to LA to support her. She had some early success here on some things. So we said, we supported Shane and Kyle on some different things, going international on trips and whatever.
Nice.
So, we wanted to support her. So we went out to California. My company um, opened up a position for me, so there wasn't a lot of risk. And I like to describe her as a prissy jock. She was very feminine, but she
Yeah.
played with a lot of grit. And then she did the singing and dancing and acting stuff all at the same time. So it was fun, but I know it was a lot of work for her. I think she, like Shane, you kind of look back, I think she cherishes everything, but then part of her probably would have liked to have stayed in St. Louis and had the friends and through soccer that the boys did. So, but you don't look back,
Right.
and
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I always envisioned that I would be the follow spot operator on your daughter at one of those mall concerts, inside the mall. She would, so
Well, that would
anyway.
have been fun.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Hmm.
Because it really is, I mean, a young man or young woman having that type of stage presence that the whole mall was filled with screaming kids, love you, dressed alike and everything, and knew all the words to the song. It was really, something.
That's
And
fun.
I'm sure I would have felt the same way watching you all play soccer. And just like I did at the dinner, your two sons and daughter, they are when you see them, they're very nice people. I mean, they just everything they do, they just have a nice way about them. So, hats off to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you got 5 more minutes?
Yeah,
All right
for
then.
sure.
All right then. So, when you think about soccer and then America at where it's at right now, uh, coming up to the World Cup and all this, is it something that is it different, the feeling and everything, is it different than you thought it was, say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Is it what you would have thought it was going to be like? Is it different or much the same or what?
For me, yeah, I would have to like say we're improving as a whole, like on a macro level. I just don't think it's as quick as people wanted to improve. And I'm talking just everything from the popularity to MLS. Switching a lot of our concepts with youth soccer, modeling after like Europe, like all that stuff takes a lot of time. So, yeah, I just think that it's not as quick as like a common sports fan would want. Every time the World Cup comes around, there's a lot of hype, and especially being in, we're hosting, so there's going to be more hype and more expectation. And as a soccer player, ex-player, my expectations are more realistic in a win, like a win for, us as a nation would be just, I mean, getting out of the group, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a little farther than that, of course, but there's only been a handful of teams that ever win the World Cup, and so yeah. But I mean, to answer your question, I think it's getting better. I think it's awesome that St. Louis has a team now, and the league's growing. We're going to like the European calendar now, so we're doing the right things. It just takes time. Yeah, but I do think it's getting better.
There you go. You brought a shovel, man. You brought a shovel with you. You're not a rake. You're a good Westbrook. Because Westbrooks don't just rake, they get down that shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Shelly, you talked about your company and everything. Far as, the sale of soccer in America, were you involved in sales or the scientific in the warehouse type of thing?
So I was involved in sales, but I did sell into medical fields.
Uh,
So yeah, so I guess in a way I did get involved in some of the science as well. But I just think sales and managing executive salespeople, takes a certain finesse and patience and leadership. And I think all that you get. That's why I think when parents' expectations are, like Shane said, wanted to play pro and they want their kids to play pro. But I tell you what, and I know Shane and Nicole, I mean, Kyle and Nicole would say the same thing. Kyle's a lawyer and he feels like playing soccer and going to Chaminade were huge for him. And so, and I'm sure Nicole with her, everything she's done. So I really do believe, not that individual sports can't do a lot as well, but I'm really feel like team sports, in particular soccer, is just huge, especially with diversity. Shane talked about meeting people. He's got friends he still keeps in touch with, and we were just talking about a friend in Egypt that is going to be coming over for the World Cup, and Shane met him in Boston. So it can open a lot of doors for you. It really can.
yeah. I mean, with all the talk, is that really means something? That type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't normally get it when you look at other sports or you look at other places. It's I'm so happy I talk about. Hey man, did you see that shot or that pass? Instead of hey, you got any chew?
Yep.
Oh man! And when somebody talks about boots, you're looking for a pair of soccer shoes, man. So, Mom,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. So, man, you are a very polished young executive, Shelly. Way to go, man! Very impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Westbrooks are in good hands with the two of you. And so you have the Wales Certified Hall of Affinity, and I have a couple of certificates to give to you.
That's good.
Yeah, we're neighbors. And the story comes out is that at Wales Certified, we always kind of end up to say, Shelly, Shay, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for, this is your opportunity.
Just stay positive and keep playing soccer. And yeah, we love it, and I'm so proud of my kids too. I have to say that, and
Yeah,
Shane, and yeah, all of them. So yeah, so we're blessed.
nice.
Yeah. Just want to say thanks, man. I like what you're doing. It's I haven't listened to any of your shows, but I assume it's soccer based in St. Louis, and yeah, we have such a rich, awesome story with St. Louis soccer, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Really proud to be a Westbrook. You don't really realize how special it is to be part of this soccer family. In years on, I just realized it now. It's just the amount of access I got, with my grandpa and all my dad, my uncles. It's pretty awesome and special. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, and glad to be here.
Wow. I mean, there it is. You meet a Westbrook and they take your breath away. You're so dynamic and so thrilling to be around. And I said, I'm almost smiling as much as Dick Westbrook. That smile on his face. Oh, man.
He's the best.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. And the missus, when you talked about Irene, she was a friend, best friend of my aunt. And they grew up together in Baba Boom, Baba Bang. And they used to double date. Yeah. And the story goes is that she says, what's Dick's coaching over at CBC? Oh, my nephew goes there. What's his name? Kevin Whalen. Oh, man, that was something, And I got a little bit in the history book of T for True, you know, as,
Yeah.
yeah, to learn how to properly go for a ball in gold, to use it T for True. So it's I just can't say enough. And so I'll give you the certificates to give to the other two, but they're always welcome to come on.
Sounds great.
Yeah, you could use another lawyer on the staff. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have just met two folks, a mother and a son, who are in the Wales Certified Hall of Affinity, and you too can be if you only try. So long, everyone. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.